Hello guys, this is Saskia's friend, and welcome to Midnight Horrors with Saskia's friend, featuring a couple of horror films. Nah, I'm just kidding. Those pieces of shit is nothing compared to this. Some of these stories I'll be reading. It might not sound right to you. It might sound sad, or it might just send shivers down your spine. It might be true, or it might not be. Who knows? I'm just here to read you a bedtime story. It is not Halloween. It is always Halloween. There are monsters inside of us all. Or are they not? I'm going to give a list of wonderful stories. I have not read them yet, so I will be winging it. Are you guys ready? I hope you aren't. First story. Upstairs. When I was a child, I lived in a rented 2-floor house. Both my parents worked, so I was often alone and I came home from school. One early evening, I came home from the house was still dark. I called out, "Mom," and I heard a voice said, "Yes," from upstairs. I called my mom again, and I got the same "Yes" reply. When I reached the first floor, at the I called it once more. The voice, "Yes." It came from the furthest room. I felt uneasy, but the strong urge to see my mother started to walk toward the room. But at that moment I heard the front door open downstairs and my mother came in, carrying a lot of shopping bags. "Sweetie, are you home?" My mother called out in a cheery voice. Oh, fuck me. "Sweetie, are you home?" My mother called in a cheery voice. Hearing her voice made me feel instantly better, and I turned back down to go downstairs once. But not before I had a quick glance toward the room. While, while, while I was on top of the stairs, the door of the room slowly cracked up. For a brief moment, I saw something standing there. Something strange. A pale face staring at me. And that was the first story. Upstairs. I made a mistake for the first time. But I didn't read it first. But that was pretty creepy, wasn't it? Something you don't know. Something you think is there. But is it? Human perception is pretty weak and fragile. One wrong mistake, and it could be the end of your life. So always be sure to make sure that whoever you're trying to speak to says more than just yes. You dumb piece of shit. Now, on to the next transition. I shall close that. Ooh, this one has a picture. I won't show it. But this is getting interesting. This is a little longer one. But yeah, this is creepy. During the summer of 1983, in a quiet town near Minneapolis, Minnesota, the charred body of a woman was found inside the kitchen stove of a small motherfucker. Are you seriously? Motherfucker, I am reading a goddamn story. This is becoming a comedy. Okay. A video camera was also found in the kitchen, standing on a tripod and pointing toward the oven. No tape was found inside the camera at the time, although the scene was originally labeled as homicide by police. An unmarked VHS tape was later discovered at the bottom of a family's well, which apparently dried up earlier that year. Despite its worn condition, the fact that it contained no audio, police were still able to view the contents of the tape. It depicted a woman recording herself in front of the camera, seemingly using the camera the police had found in the kitchen, after posing in the camera to include both her in the kitchen and the stove in the image. No shit. The tape then showed her turning on the stove, opening the door and crawling inside and closing the door behind her. 8 minutes into the video, the oven could be seen shaking violently, which point-thick black smoke could be seen emanating from it. For the past 45 minutes of the video, until battery cameras died, it remained in its standard position. To avoid disturbing local community, the police never released any information about the tape, or even the fact it was found. Police were also never determined who put the tape in the well, or why the height and stature of the woman in the video didn't come close to matching the body they found in the oven. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the tape. That one was pretty creepy, but not as creepy as the previous one, because it was a little far-fetched. Something like this could be, well, I don't know. It's, I have no idea how to say about this, so we should continue, alright? So what's the next one, shall we? This one has no picture, and it's slightly shorter, but it's La Nute. It's a French one! Ha! Ooh. Okay, this has some dates on it. So, let's look at it, shall we? In France, a young ambient musician by the name of Charles undertook a procedure, an interesting new project. He was going to record the sound himself sleeping, releasing it under the name La Nute, or, in English, The Night. Charles lived alone in a rural area which he can remove things like car alarms, traffic, such as has been recorded. He planned his project for many months, acquiring the sensitive equipment to capture outside noises as well as during his own sleep. Finally, on the 27th of September, he decided to execute his plan. He set up the equipment, and he fell asleep at midnight. Well, the next day, Charles reviewed the recordings. For the first hour, he recorded himself playing his own tossings and turnings and some distant dog barking and a few car alarms. So much of a plan distancing himself from cars. This continued for the second hour as well. Then Charles heard something that horrified him. For the exactly 3 hours and 24 minutes in, the recording played the sound of his bedroom door opening. Okay. Now that one was a little creepy, but not as creepy as the first one. I seem to have gotten the creepiest. But this is interesting. So, we're currently almost 9 minutes in, and we still have about 16 maybe or so left. Maybe less, because I might have already read these. And the last one would be a doozy. Ooh. This is the ceiling. Everything was fine. When we went to sleep, everything was normal. Until I woke up at 2:32. I saw red numbers on the clock. Her bed was about 3 feet from mine. She was making noises. I figured that she was talking in her sleep. But I was scared. I was really scared. She had never done it before. She grabbed the cross around my neck, got under the covers, and went to sleep again. No, I grabbed her. I'm sorry. Minutes later, I wake up. It was only 2:41, and she was sitting down on the side of the bed, and I just looked at her. I was beyond scared. I couldn't move one finger. Her mouth was wide open, and her eyes were all white. I covered myself, and I waited. I waited for 2 hours. I did not know how long it was till I was too scared to look at the clock. I fell asleep. The next morning, I could see she's sleeping, and I was confused. Did it really happen? Had the big bruise on her cheek that looked like a bite. It was purple and had small black holes in the middle. Formed a perfect oval. She said she was sleeping and she felt like a pull in her hair, and she woke up. She saw an animal crouching on the ceiling. I looked down when I was sleeping, where I was looking down where I was sleeping. She tried to yell my name, but her mouth would not close. And when she heard a loud bang on the ceiling and heard my name whisper Jenny in her ear, I... Oh, after that she didn't remember anything happened. She woke up and talked to me. Oh no. She's doing the exact same thing right now. It's 2:41 a.m. God damn it, stop it. Okay. It's 2:41 a.m. She's making murmuring sounds, and her mouth is wide open. While her eyes are wide open, look at the ceiling. I typing this on my phone. I can hear it breathe right in front of me. Well, that was a little more creepy. Except the fact I keep getting interrupted on Facebook. Which is weird, because it's really loud to me. I should probably turn down the volume. Of course. There you go. That's better. Now, that was a little creepy, wasn't it? Imagine waking up and seeing your beloved with her mouth wide open and frozen, staring at something that is so horrifying that it causes her to forget what it looks like, but knowing the figure every night. But, except for one day, something unusual happens, and something crawls into your house and your life. This is creepy, isn't it? And the creature was intelligent, saying her name in her ear, and yet it causes her to have amnesia. And every night she does the same thing. Now, let's go. And ooh, this has a photo of a wolf with bat wings and two tails. That does not look bad. Oh, right. Oh, that was stupid. I'm reading this. I'm skimming through it just very quickly. And this looks really stupid. This looks like one of those stories that you would say like an animal came in and it looked like this. Huh. And it appears in Finland. It's one of those urban legend things. I'm going to skip this, but it's called Cuddle with a K. Look it up. I don't mind. Ooh. What's this? I have to probably... yeah, it's covering, the comment is covering the thing. I'm probably going to have to... There it is. Oh no. I don't think I like this, but I'm going to read it anyway. Alright, guys? Good. So, the sound. You are sleeping. Then you hear a very loud sound. You wake up immediately and think that's just your dream. Confused, you lay back down and close your eyes. You hear it again, but it's louder. The sound is the one that the horses make, mixed with the hiss of a cat. You hear it again. Now you know you're not dreaming anymore, and you can't explain what the sound is. You grab your phone and call your parents. None of them answer. They're probably sleeping, you think. You try to ignore the sound and go back to sleep. You hear it again. Whew. Scared. You get off your bed and walk towards your room's door. Slowly open it a little. You look outside, but it's dark. At the end of the hallway, you see two red eyes. They're on the ceiling. You turn on the light, and the eyes disappear. You You start to walk into your parents' room, which is the end of the hallway. Scared and shaking, step by step, you get closer to it. You're halfway there. The lights are off. You hear the sound again. It's right behind you. Yet again. I heard it. The fucking Facebook shit. There it is. Turned it off, finally. So then, let's go to the farm. But that was a little creepy. What did you guys imagine? Some of these are covering up. Okay, that's good. So at least here's a shorter one. This doesn't have a name. But I think it has a possession kind of thing in it. When I was younger, I went to spend the night at a new friend's house. When I got there, it was already dark and I decided to play video games and ended up going to bed soon after. I went to use the bathroom and I saw a scary painting of a face in the hallway. My eyes felt locked onto mine. I was too scared. So I went back to his room and I fell asleep. When I woke up the next morning, I walked in the same spot, but instead of the portrait, it was a window. Alright. So, we have another one. Alright, so this is called the Scarecrow. As Jake trudged through the cornfield, he recalled the argument he had morning with his pa. "But they've only been up a month. They don't need changing," he had yelled. "Yes, they do, Jake. Every single one of them. I want that first scarecrow replaced by sundown." He shifted the heavy bag and slunk over his shoulder and cursed at himself for not thinking of something more clever to say. But he clutched his stepladder in his other arm like a lance, fantasized about other endings to the fight. "I could do all the work," he thought to himself. "Just as I had some other way say so, how things would have gotten done." Striding up to the static figure. It's like static, but it's still. He had the bag down and planted the ladder. "Damn things only last 2 months with proper care," he fumed as he stepped up. He pulled off the garnish hood. He met with a chorus of buzzing horseflies. Jake had just had enough time to see the boy's glazed eyes, his dried, blood-filled nostrils before the head slumped forward. "Huh," he mused. "Pa was right." Now that one, well, that one wasn't, yeah, that wasn't so interesting. But that also proves one thing. That's weird. Because, that's weird. Doesn't that remind you of a murder? Maybe the pa. Maybe they're murderers. Maybe the family's a murderer or murderers and they use people as scarecrows. Did you guys think about that? So then, we have a couple more left. Let's do falling. Okay? Ooh, I see a big word in there. I'm not big word, but it's interesting. So let's read this, shall we? We've all felt it. You're up late, working, studying, watching a movie, reading this on the computer. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Any feeling you get, you're tired, your eyes burn, you want to get your feeling, you just don't want to go to sleep after a while. After you go crawl in the bed, you can't go in the crawl in the bed right now. You close your eyes for a couple minutes, right? Get the moisture back in your eyes. That wouldn't hurt, right? But then you're falling, like stepping off a cliff. You're in free fall, though your body isn't moving. Like a bungee cord snapping back, you're jerked awake, heart thumping a little faster, thinking quickly, wondering what just happened. Doctors call that a hypnotic jerk, a natural reaction to say your brain is thinking you're dying. When your breathing heart rate is slow, you fall as you sleep. What doctors don't know is your brain is right. Every time you let yourself nod off, every time you feel like you're falling sensation, you're not falling, you're being pulled down. And one day, your brain won't pull you back up, and they will have you. You hear that, guys? Be sure not to nod off, because your brain might actually be saving your life. And you might not be able to come back. You will die in your sleep. So then, how'd you guys enjoy that? Let's just fuck this to shitville. Right? So then, we have 4 more messages. Isn't that awesome? Let's call this Lamb. Ooh, a lamb one. We haven't gotten this one yet. It's a farm. Another farm. How lovely. How far have we got so far? Ooh, 21, almost 22 minutes. Nice. So, alright. So, having a farm is great. The guy loved it. What he was always dreamt of. His wife, his kids, loved it all well. Especially the black little lamb they had recently bought. His kids loved the black little lamb. They played for it for long periods of times, happy with his wife. He would watch them happily play, with resting on the rocking chairs outside. Life was perfect for them. It could not get better than this. One day he was feeding the animals on the farm. Then he saw a black lamb. Its horns were way larger than before. Puzzled, he just ignored it. Well, later that day, the animals came outside, but none of them was missing. One of them was missing. The black lamb. He went inside the farm, looked for it, and there it was, in the very same spot he left it that morning. But then again, the lamb's horns got bigger. Big enough not to let it stand anymore. He got close to it, knelt down and saw it. He saw the horns had carvings. They had some sort of writing on them, like symbols. Well, it looked like eyes of a snake. The goat's eyes. There were black and red veins all around it. He was worried. He couldn't explain what was going on. He called the town's priest to take a look at it. When he came over, the priest said that the demon had taken possession of the lamb, and it must be killed so the demon could not escape. That day, they killed the lamb. Sadly, his children stayed in their rooms the whole day. He really felt really bad, but he was glad the demon was gone. At night, he was sleeping with his wife. The daughter came inside the room, jumping with joy. He asked her, said, Daddy, it's back! The lamb is back! Creeped out, he followed the girl to her room, only finding one thing he could never imagine. It was his son, his horns coming out of his head. And that was the lamb. Yeah. Yep. That was a little creepy. Let's do another one called The Farm. Another one. Yippee! Isn't that the best ever? So, The Farm. You ran out of gasoline, and the only place to see around the farm, scared and full of regret for not putting the last gasoline out in the car, is, well, that's weird. Looks like it's about to rain and it's getting dark. Whew, there's a strong wind blowing toward the mountain. You knock on the door, an old man comes out and says, "Are you okay?" And you nod. He invites you in, come inside. This nice, this is odd, but pleasant. He prepares you coffee and burns some wood in the fireplace to keep the place warm. His place is really nice. The walls are, beautiful carvings. The floor's furnished. And wow, the furniture's impeccable. The place is great, and you feel more secure inside of it, you know? You tell the old man this place is really nice. He smiles as a compliment. Then the old man tells you that he's going to sleep. He gives you a necklace. He tells you that it is so you rest well and secure. You thank him for this. The next morning you wake up in the old farm. The walls are ruined. The furniture is rotten. The fireplace is nothing but wet ashes. The floor is scratched. But the place looks like it's been abandoned for a long time. It is dark, and you look confused. And it's hard to stand up. You finally stand up. You feel really tired and worn out. You hear a knock on the door. Oh, you knock on the door. You go in and open it. It is a stranger. You say these 3 words. Are you okay? That's a little creepy. It's a loop. It's a forever loop of the same person looping back and forth. The person you were is the person you are that you're helping in. Very creepy, huh? Huh. So then, we have the 3rd wish. Sounds like a genie kind of thing. But let's see. An elderly man was sitting alone in a dark path. Well, he wasn't sure which direction to go. He hadn't forgotten both where he was traveling. Wait a minute. He had forgotten who he was and where he was going to. But he sat down for a moment to rest his weary legs. He looked up to see an elderly woman before him. She grinned toothlessly with a crack. Now your 3rd wish. What would it be? 3rd wish? The man was baffled. How can there be a 3rd wish? I haven't made my 1st and 2nd wish. You had 2 wishes already, the hag said. But your 2nd wish was for me to return everything the way it was that made your 1st wish. That's why you remember nothing. So everything the way it is before you made any wishes. She cracked the little man. So that's why you only have 1 wish left. Oh, right, man hesitated. I don't believe this. There's no harm in trying. I wish to know who I am. Funny. The old woman had granted the wish and disappeared forever. That was your 1st wish. Huh? A little creepy, don't you think? You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. Very creepy, huh? The guy did not... That was weird. Huh. Maybe he was someone he could not refuse to know. Maybe he was someone that was revolting to his own nature. Maybe he was someone that was just absolutely so revolting that nature itself, except for the genie, the little hag, could accept. He probably couldn't accept it, and so he probably asked to forget it because of how horrible it was. And then he wanted to know who he was, to figure out why he had done it. And now he had to live with it for the rest of his life. So now, we have this last, final story. I think it's something... It's something I really don't want to read. It's a little creepy, but I read comments of this. There's a photo, and it scares everyone. And I see Jeff the Killer in here also. I don't want to show it to you guys. That would creep you guys out a little too much. But here's a little thing we should all worry about. We are all monsters inside of ourselves. So there's nothing to fear but ourselves. Because everything you see that is coming after you is a little part of you just coming back to take itself away. So, let's go and read the message, shall we? Don't dismiss this outright as a work of some raving lunatic. Just have some sense to the story, you'll hear me out. So what's all look time travel is possible, right? I'll tell you something, it is. I'm from the future, and actually, you probably don't believe it. But seriously, I'm from the future. It's a really great thing. Getting to see the past, watching things unfold, stuff like that. We never know that we would. Wow. Behind all the fun is a more serious aspect. We are allowed to go into our own lifetime, and we're never allowed to contact our past selves. Let me tell you, I'm breaking that rule right now. Yes, kid, you're talking to yourself. Your future self. I'm going to be executed for this. You know what? I accept that. I'm preventing something by talking to you as worse than death. I'm going to tell you because the filters could catch it. Wait, what? Oh, okay, let me reread that. I accept it. I'm preventing something like talking to you that is worse than death. I can't tell you outright what to do because the filters would catch it. It's the closest thing I can get. Trust me, I can do whatever. Send a little message. You could probably, but the message don't. What? Hold on. The closest thing I can get, trust me, I can, however, send a little message. You should probably read the first word of every paragraph. No. Don't look behind you. I will not look behind me. Although, I can go and stand up and tell you guys, have a nice day, and also, I have a reflection behind me, and there is nothing behind me. Aren't you guys glad of that? I'm so glad also. Because there's nothing behind me at all. But, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, nothing behind me at all. Yeah, that's good. So, yeah, I'm going to drink this Coca-Cola cherry. Hear this? Yeah. And I hope you guys know that I am not easily scared. I'm a guy who loves horror. He loves fear. He loves everything that is crazy and maniacal. But there are certain things that creep him out the most. Why is he talking in third person, you say? Because he is afraid. Very afraid. Reading these very messages, these hidden, unknown secrets. Ugh, they terrify him to the point of shake and fear. But there's one thing he must remember, is that none of this is real. And none of these stories are real. Or are they real? None of us knows. None of us will know until it's too late. So then, I ask you guys one simple thing. Did you guys have a good Halloween? I hope you did. Because you might not survive to see the next one. And this is Saskia's friend, aka Christopher, signing out. Please like and subscribe for the video. It would help a lot. Please do so. I just want to make people laugh. Laugh with fear. Laugh with them laughing at me so they control. They can never fellow subscribers. And I'll see you in the next part.